Welcome to Friday Racing and the start of the weekend. We're going to have a little fun here today at the races. Keith, how was your week leading up to everything?
It's pretty good.
You were just telling me you had a good dinner last night.
I did have a good dinner. Yeah, the Basta Pasta in Eldersburg. I said one of our buddies, he's been just hammering away at the basketball game. So we took advantage of it and enjoyed a good meal up there. But yeah, a decent week. Got a lot of stuff done around the house. I had to do a little bit of this racetrack work, but that kept me a little bit busy. But looking forward to today's card. I thought this was a really, for a Friday card,
Yes.
deep card. Really good job by the racing office, and lots of quality races, I thought, on this card and
Agreed.
through the weekend. But here's the issue that we're going to have to deal with, though, today. You know, track label fast now. As I was driving down here, rushing to get here, a little bit of light rain started. I don't know the intensity, how much it's going to pick up, but I know it could be lingering for a few hours. So we're going to have to just kind of bear with the situation of that weather, and we'll keep you apprised of any track changes.
Taking a look at my radar, we're looking pretty good. I think we're
Okay.
just going to get that little bit of sprinkle, and we're not going to get to see too much. So I'm going to lean towards that this track is going to still be playing fast, and we're not going to be seeing any more precipitation throughout the rest of the day. But of course, race number 1 starts with this early pick 5 in this maiden special weight, going a 1-turn mile on the dirt for the strict 3-year-olds. Let's take a look right away at your top selection, Keith. Uncle Jake at Santa Anita going through that start, going into the run, and then cutting to that final furlong.
Yeah, a little bit of a slower start, kind of broke inward at the break, and makes a pretty good run up to the leaders, up behind the leaders. Even has to kind of steady just a little bit off of heels heading to the half-mile pole. But the key is out of this race, the winner, Go Rocket. And, the winning fig was a 96, came back and ran real big after that in the San Felipe.
There we go.
So there you go. There's the trouble into the turn and kind of regroups, stays inside, and just kind of runs even through the last, let's say, eighth of a mile as Go Rocket just kind of goes away from him. But a cleaner break today, breaks middle of the pack, west to east, handling all of that stuff. That turn of foot that he showed, he looks like if he gets to the front, he could be gone in here. What's he, a $675,000 Uncle Mo purchase? Yep.
Well, looking at that replay, everything was essentially a delayed reaction. We had a slow start. Jack had to get after him. Then he got going at the wrong time, ran into horses at the wrong time of the turn, and then got a little discouraged and then just went off of and just kind of teetered back throughout that. So did a gate work just before that. So I haven't seen any gate works, any published gate works from the Brittany Russell barn. So I have a feeling things still might pan out a little bit better just because this guy is going to be off the rail today.
Yeah, exactly. You said he was down inside, sitting there, first time starting. I know it wasn't a big field or anything, but still having to deal with that sometimes fries a horse's brain. The two, I'll talk about the other Brittany Russell runner here, first time starter, touchdown montage. Mare was good, 3 for 8, one debut, 3 of the first 4. So there's early talent we're leaning towards, kin to a 6 and a 9-time winner. So there's plenty of winning within this family. And this stallion, American Freedom, with the 3-year-old and up variety of the first, has done quite well, high percentage. So see if kind of a little bit of a patience pays off for touchdown montage. Vaccination has the experience, has the shown the ability to get the route of ground. Blinkers going on. Just thought he'd bring a little bit more finish. Omadata ran a big number. We're going to see that runner yesterday with 78 Buyer winning that day. Maybe the blinkers bring a little bit more there. He's kind of shown what he is, 359 Buyers in a row. Can he take a step up? He better if he's going to beat this favorite.
I like him at the 1 turn. I knew I was going to be taking a bit of a chance with him at a bit of a price against those two obvious Brittany Russell horses, but I think cutting back to the 1 turn mile from that 1 1/8, especially for a younger horse, a 3-year-old now, just making, to me, that makes the big difference. With the blinkers on, might help things out a bit and gets the outside post. So Keith Fusel goes 4-2-6-3 there in the first, and let's talk about race number 2, where Keith, you have your early pick 4. Let's take a look how that ticket plays out.
Early pick 4. I struggled. I struggled with this card today. I struggled with this ticket. I'm expecting a little bit of value here, but 147 to get you going. They are kind of the obvious horses to get you started in race number 2. Race 3, I got a little bit of a price here, I think, in this first or the 5 Waridi Candy for Horacio De Paz. Also going to use the 1 Wonder Girl, the proven speed, off of those 2 tries in New York, and the first are Good Girl, Bad Habits. Okay,
There we
I'm
go.
not going to say anything else.
Nope.
Race 4, the 2 and the 4 start with a bang, flashy and dynamite. There's a little. Yeah, those two work together, right? Flash and Dynamite. Start with a bang, first time in the barn of Jamie Ness. Race 5 with the 3, the 5, and the 9. Some value there with Marilyn Moon, Stellwagen Banker. Albie will get play. Hasn't been seen since November, but dropping out of a pretty good race. B West was in there. $27. You may have to add just a little bit to that.
I honestly, with this ticket and this card today, I
Yeah.
would.
Yeah.
I especially, I thought it would be hard in a couple of those races that you picked out to just kind of slim things down a little bit. But regardless, a $27 ticket for Keith Fusel at the first leg of the early pick 4, which does start in race number 2. In this claiming 40,000, going again the 1 turn mile on the dirt for the strict 3-year-old. Scratch the number 5 Bonded and scratch the number 6 Island Delight. Keith, let's take a look at your first selection, number 4, Arby's the Boss. We do have a special Keith Fusel stat here that you brought us here today.
Yeah, there's lots of ways to go. I mean, I was scrambling, came up with this one. There's some other stats I'll go along the way and talk about through the races. But Damon here, the last 3 years in the dirt with the 3-year-olds going sprinter out. It's been quite successful. 5 for 13, 38%, 7 for 13 in the money with an ROI of 205. This is a shorter field, but a competitive field. I think Uncaptured Storm will take plenty of play off of those 2 big tries since being claimed. RB's the Boss looks to me like a horse that maybe wants to stretch out a little bit. He's faced some good horses. He's been in some flows that have been very quick, sometimes flattening just a little bit. I think the flow will be good to him today. Looking at the breeding, Holy Boss, the stallion, 16%, with the routers. Second Dam, handled the mile distance, no problem. So we'll see. I think he's a forward factor a long way. Little unlucky, didn't have the cleanest of trips at Charlestown last time out.
I like that. I really like all of those selections. On top of that, you talk about the Dam Sire Majestic Profession, 19% with his first-time routers as well, and Damon Deal de Vigo, 17% as of late with those first-time routers as well. You also have the number 7 underneath, Uncaptured Storm for Anthony Ferrier, gets on Nado Boca Chica. Why not? Jumping from the 12.5 to the 20, decent showing at the 40. Take it away. Anything to add on that?
No, just back at the mile where he just absolutely galloped, got through along the inside. You see the short comment, eager, just ran into a buzzsaw and Johnny French Fry, who was first off the claim for Brittany Russell last time. They changed the tactics for Johnny French Fry, and he ran really big with a buyer of 77 in that race. So in Uncaptured Storm, he held for him, even improved a little bit, proven at the distance. He may have a target because Kerness, who had second-time blinkers last time, the Lasix going on, had a clear trip, showed that good speed and carried it out to 7/8. He may be the other pace factor here with RB's the Boss, and lurking will be Uncaptured Storm.
Keith Fusel, 4-7-1-2 there at the first leg of the early pick 4. The second leg of the early pick 4 is race number 3 in this maiden special weight, going 5.5 on the dirt for the straight 3-year-old fillies. Scratch in the number 2. What's your big idea, Keith? You, myself, and Tim Tulloch all land on the number 8 on the outside. Good Girl, Bad Habits for Brittany Russell and Javian Toledo.
Yeah, by Mastery, who has not been stellar with the first-time starters, right? There's a couple by Mastery in here. So that's some talented runners. Only 5 or 6% with the firsters, but this one looks just like she's working very well over this racetrack. Bottom side, this mare was all right. And we've got, 5 starters, 2 winners first time out, a second and a third. That just kind of caught my eye there, a little glaring stat. So with a barn that's very capable, as we say, it show in, show out. Good Girl, Bad Habits should be prepped and ready to go.
And even with a couple of those half-siblings that haven't won first time out, they did have a couple of them did have some, not necessarily trouble trips, but enough of an excuse is still good runnings out of all of those first-time starter half-siblings. So I'm going to add to that effect, just looking even better for the Dam Dazzler there. Nice showing with her. Let's talk about the number 1 on the rail for Cal Lynch. This one is Irish Wonder Girl for Bob Caceres. Gets Horacio Caramanos, was out on the slop last time out in late February at Aqueduct. It just gets a tough, to me it's the rail trip that makes things a little bit tough, but gets another try at the
Yeah.
rail. That was the first time completely in that situation, first time out. So again, you're talking about a change of pattern. First time out was on the outside, kind of lagged mid-pack in the field, but then the next time out, this last time in February at Aqueduct, was on the rail, shot to the lead, had a little bit of pressure, and then simply, in my opinion, it just got tired from all that. So gets all of that experience again, and it has some experience to back it up.
Yep, proven speed and can benefit from those first two outings. Did have some serious trouble first time out, last time out, and a little hiccup. Sent out there a little bit of a fade, but obviously the experience should help her against this group. And if the 8 kind of just doesn't fire, the 1 might just go ahead on the lead. Another firster I'm interested in though is the 5, Waridi Candy here, trained by Horacio de Paz. Interesting breeding. Okay, Candy Ride we know was solid, 12% with the firsters. Mare 8 for 21, a multiple graded stakes type down in Argentina. Second down, won a grade 1 here in the States with a 108. So there's some talent in the family. It doesn't matter if Argentina, United States. Okay,
Right.
runners. So
Right.
this one, Waridi Candy, works a little bit on the pedestrian side, but steady. Sneaky. Tab the tote here. See if this horse takes some play off of that 8-1 morning line. The other mastery is the 6, appealing to the eye. Bottom side, mare was quick. Speed. That's what my note. 3 for 10, 150,000. First foal. So we're gonna see what happens.
Had a half sibling who won very well. Had won well second time out. Excuse me. Actually, I'm looking at the. Excuse me for a sec. Looking at the dam. Appealing Maggie. She
Right.
could have easily won first time out. She was squeezed out at the start, so very on the speed, as you mentioned, very, very speedy. Gets that nice post a little bit to the outside in the 6. So Keith Fustel goes 8-1-5-6. I go 8-1-6-5 there in race number 3. The third leg of the early pick 4 is race number 4. That starter optional claiming 30,000, going 1 turn mile on the dirt for the 4-year-old fillies and mares. We've got a carryover into this rainbow pick 6. 10,481, as you can see on the screen. That's going to be climbing by the time we get up to race number 4. Let's take a look at my ticket, see how I played a little bit. I didn't want to find a single, but I did land on the single in race number 5. I took a chance on the number 5, Stelwyn Banker, for Mikey Gorm, Jamie Rodriguez. I really liked what I saw that last time out. Going the 7 furlongs, I'm going to like it even better with this one stretching out today. Race number 6, I go 5 wide there, in the 1-3-5-6-9, the number 3 being my top selection, Fast Track for Arnaud Delacour. 2 deep in race number 7 with the 1 and the 8, the 8 being mine, and Tim Tulloch's top selection in that race. Race number 8, 2-4-6. 4 is my top selection there in Tate. I took a chance on that one for Anthony Ferrier at 4-1 in race number 9 in that maiden, claiming 12-5. 2 deep with the 6 and the 7. The 6, I took a chance at my top selection for a $36 ticket. Again, if I were you, I wouldn't be afraid to add to that if you can. Again, as you and I both talked about, a wonderful card that we have not only for Friday, but Saturday and Sunday as well, Keith.
No, these races are tough to get through. There's
They
no
are.
doubt about it. For you to put a single out there, I'm telling you, you're gutsy.
I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do
Man.
it, but I didn't want. I wanted to keep my ticket a little bit cheaper, but it was hard. It was really hard to find a single. So if you can find if you have that much faith in your single, go for it. But if I were to add anything, I would not have a single today. I would have added another one there in race number 5. But let's get back to race number 4 in the starter optional 30, going a 1-turn mile on the dirt for the girls 4 years old and up. Scratching the 1. Watch your tone, thank goodness, because I had that one in my mix. This is a very competitive race, Keith. You have the number 4 on top. Start with a bang for Jamie Ness and Jamie Rodriguez.
Yeah, in fact, there's a little bit of moisture in this track. This horse, can handle that. 2 for 6 with a third. And I just think, her stepping up off the claim, it's a little bit of tell. And just the way Ness, Rodriguez, this combo is just deadly right now. I mean, and Ness gets these horses to move up off the claim. And I liked her last time. She was kind of lagging back a lot further. We saw a couple instances with Rudy where she showed a little bit more positional speed. I don't want to see her more than about 5 or 6 out of it when they start ramping things up mid-turn at this 1-turn mile. But there is a little flow in the race because I think #Lucky we'll go ahead and send out of there. Some comes out with Watch Your Tone. But Tutata, who's now shown improved speed, and even Freccia D'Argento, that horse at a price could press the pace. So Start with a Bang has brought good runs at the route. I think she settles. Rodriguez just kind of drafts up. They took this horse up the Parks to get a work, and now come back to Maryland. Interesting little move there for the Nest Barn. He's done that a couple times on occasion and has gotten the money.
Very interesting angle that you noticed well is there. Let's take a look at Dotata, who you previously mentioned, back on February 19th from that far turn leading into the mid-stretch.
Yeah, Dotata, Callie. I mean, she's just kind of a different filly right now, isn't she?
Yes,
I mean, all of a sudden, the light bulb's going on. She wants to be kind of involved. You know, we'll give her a little past 2 races back off the break. They went slow early. You know, the track was on the heavier side. But for her to be involved, I was still a little bit surprised. And then she comes back, and, you know, #Lucky is pretty quick. You know, she can show that speed at 7/8 of a mile. And Dotata just kind of prompted her and said, okay, I'm going to kick away and just keep on going. She goes ahead, opens up 4 mid-stretch, kept busy to the wire. She's just a different filly right now, and she's going to, I think, have to be used somewhere in your exactas or tries, right?
Pattern change. You talk about a filly who's been dragging in every single part of the race up until you send her to the front. Even if it was slow, it was still an opportunity for this filly to get a different experience, get some confidence, and she takes it right from there. So why not have her underneath, as I do as well? Let's go back to your exacta in the number 2 Flash Dynamite. Now inherits the rail with the scratch in the 1. What's your take on that?
Again, this is another one. I don't think she can have really too many hiccups. She wants to be forwardly placed. She's been okay on the lead. She's been okay just off of it. But any part of that where she's got to be used a little too hard in that first quarter of a mile is going to be a concern. But I think might be a little bit of a relief of what she's been running against. Didn't run too bad in New York for the 45, that optional A other than condition. 2 back, not bad at Park. So this is a barn that's been going good lately, about 27%. They've had some luck, you know, further back. I mean, recently, not a whole lot in Maryland, but I think she's going to be okay bringing her rider along. That's always a tell for me. I'll go 4, 2, 7, 8.
Game stonks.
Yeah, game stocks, again, I think she's been a vet scratch once since. But
Yes.
She had a perfect trip 2 races back. I think she's one of those that may just need that setup to get it done.
We'll see if she gets it there in race number 4. Race number 5 to finish out Keith Fustel's early pick 4 is this maiden claiming 30, going a 1-turn mile on the dirt for the straight 3-year-olds. Keith, you land on the number 3, Maryland Moon. As you mentioned, Lacey Gaudette, Johan Rosado didn't break at all, and it didn't fire at all really last time out.
Yeah, got play, though, both starts. As a 2-year-old, then off the long break, took serious play again. So they like this guy. He's going to go second time gelding. Didn't break great last time. Slow and wide against a track that was kind of holding speed. I'm just looking for a little bit of a price in here. You might get 6 to 1. You might even get a little bit more on this horse. I don't know. I mean, maybe they'll just get off of this horse because of those 2 lines. But bottom side, the Mare Broker Maiden going a mile. So why not? I thought this was a wide open race number 5.
Absolutely. Lacey Gaudette, 18% when stretching them out as of late, and I do think this one is asking for it. 14% with Malibu Moon with those first-time routers. Let's talk about who you have underneath in the number 9 Alvi for Brittany Russell. Gets JV in Toledo. Comes off of a little bit of a break. Was entered on the 9th of December. Was a vet scratch. Comes back off of that slight little layoff.
I think Alvi will end up a slight favorite in here. I don't know if you want to go ahead and take anything like 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 on Alvi, but again, as all those firsters for the Russell Barn, almost all of them, they get to play in debut. Waited now for the Lasix, gets Lasix first time out. Chased a pretty quick horse in B West. I know, again, the internals weren't strong, but that was a slower track. But I mean, outside will be forwardly placed, I think, a long way.
Absolutely, I agree with you. I like that. I like that catch with Maryland Moon. I think it's going to be interesting how this one plays out to stretching that out. Let's talk about the 5 though. Stellwagen, Banker, Mikey Gorham, Jamie Rodriguez. This is where I go in. I have the faith in Mikey Gorham right now because the barn's heating up a little bit. At this meet, he's 23%. You talk about one who gets from 6 to 7. Much again, another pattern change. Didn't fire at all, going short. You stretch this one out, send them, get some confidence. Fought was super game. So the super game and the decent gallop out makes me think that this one is going to be liking this 1-turn mile better.
Exactly. That's a good point, too. I mean, had every right to slow up a little bit because they were kind of vicious internals that he battled through for that kind of level.
Right.
He opened up, just couldn't hold on. Orkovics came back to run a 50 off of that race. Since then, that next race wasn't good. but the improve was strong, and I think this horse will handle a little bit of pressure and be able to stretch it to the mile distance to be competitive today.
Keeping things interesting in the fifth, Keith Fusel goes 3-9-5-8. I go 5-9-1-7. Race number 6. And before we get to race number 6, let's go off on this commercial break.
And they're off.
Race number 6 is an allowance optional claiming 62.5, going the one-turn mile on the dirt for the straight 3-year-old fillies. Scratching the 8, Gormley's Gabriella. Keith, you and I still happen to land on the same one, which I love. Fast-tracked, Arnaud Delacour, Jamie Rodriguez. I want to hear your take first before I give you mine.
I just think it was just reaching way, way too much off the little bit of break down at Tampa against that group. An overland trip early on, I think, just got that tightener. Okay, down in the warm weather now. We're going to come back up and bottom side, really good family, can handle the route of ground. Was ultra game with some trouble a couple races back in that Maryland Juvenile. So I think Rodriguez will have this one forwardly placed. I think if he wants to attack early, he could. I think Miss Fussy Pants will be eager to go early. So I think she's got that rating gear just off of it. And she was so gritty in debut. That's what I like too. So she's got some heart. Another one I think will be put into the race early and stays there.
I agree. I'm going off of that performance in the Maryland Million Juvenile filly effort, especially on a muddy track. So we may, I don't know if that rain may dry out, that track may dry out a little bit by the time we get to race number 6. But if not, she can handle that. Again, I agree with you. I completely disregarded that first off of the layoff effort. Comes back here in a nice field, might I add. Let's talk about your number 6, Keith, and your exacta. The number 6, cover the spread for Brittany Russell, gets Javian Toledo again second off of a little bit of layoff.
A good debut, moved up a little bit numbers-wise off the break, and it might be even tightened a little bit more off of that race. So I thought, a little slower flow up in front, but it was contested. I expected a little bit more kick. She had to kind of work her way in between horses. But second off the bench now, second Lasix. I think it's going to work. That was the other Russell horse that beat her that day. I think you're going to see a ramped up cover the spread, bringing a little bit more of a stronger rally from the top of the stretch home. This race was really, really close. I'll throw in a bomb, Jean in a bridle. She's out of that same race as cover the spread. Steady twice, right? Showed a good burst of speed. Check, steadied again, couple runs, and just flattened out ever so slightly late. So there's a 20-1 on the morning line will kind of come down off of that, I think, but still going to hold value in this field. I think there's lots of ways to go. Synergy's electric. I've got 30. Should probably be a little bit lower than that. I'm a little harsh there on the line, but she's got a chance if things get hot and heavy to kind of rally in for a piece. I'll let you talk about the one, Balpool for Robbie Atras, I think could be a slight favorite in race number 6.
I could see this one being a slight favorite. My only concern is the rail. We're taking a look right now at Aqueduct from the quarter pole to the wire. This one, I'm worried, lugged in a little bit, just kind of leaned in against that competition. I see it a couple of different ways. I'm not necessarily concerned, although she is on her left lead, late change to the outside, and just kind of gets to me. I'm seeing a mentally tired filly a little bit, despite the fact that she is dead game.
Yeah.
Just kind of the mine took over the body a little bit from what I saw. Very nice nose out, winning by nose. We know we're going to get to see this game effort filly, but since she's lugging in a little bit, might benefit from being on that inside rail and just kind of keep it. She's going to be the one getting pressure this time. So this is why I think I agree with you. I think she's going to be taking plenty of money, but with what I saw that last time out, she's going to be getting the pressure this time. And I'm not quite while I am very positive in that the fact that she is going to be dead game, it's just going to be a different situation for her this time. So with that, that's where I landed on the number 3 on top.
Okay, yeah, she's going to have to get Poe early without getting in much trouble. The field was all right up there. The third place finish came back to run a 67. You're looking around trying to find a 67 on these horses' pages. It's hard to find. But yeah, I think Rob Atras, I'm going to respect that barn, no doubt.
Absolutely.
When he's come to Maryland, I think he's won his last 3 or 4 trips when coming to Maryland. So he picks a spot, finds a spot down here. I think he means business. So she I think will learn a little bit too off of that other race. Going from the 6 furlongs out to a mile, second time at the route. She'll be tough. She was really game through the stretch there. So I go 3, 6, 1, and 7. Miss Fussy Pants, you have in there as well. She's won 3 races, won more than anybody in here. First off the claim for a farrier, a lot to like on a horse that knows how to win. I don't think the mile's too much of an issue here, the class, but I think she could step right back up and fire that higher 60 here for farrier.
I agree, especially when winning 5.5 off of 7 furlongs. They're just why not? Why not try a little bit more? So Keith Fusela goes 3, 6, 1, 7. I go 3, 1, 5, 6 in race number 6. Race number 7 is a maiden special weight, going 5.5 on the dirt for the straight 3-year-old fillies. Keith, you, myself, and Tim Tulloch, all 3 of us land on Devil Pays in Gold for Phil Capuano gets Carlos Lopez.
Yeah, Mare was good 2 for 5. Didn't run a lot. That was a motion runner for Shet. Ran around here. Just missed in her debut. Uncle Lino topside. That's early. I mean, this stallion has done really, really well with the runners first time out of the gate. Second dam, again, was all right. Won the shine again. So there's lots to like. I like the draw here. This barn is proven now. Early in the career of Phil Capuano, they get the horses ready to go early, and this horse looks to be working well. I think she's going to take a lot of play in here. It's a little bit of a kind of a suspect field, a little guess with some of these firsters, but I think she's going to be on her game.
Speaking of suspects, talk about the rest of your selections. In the number 2 Dial for Love, Lacey Gaudette gets Jamie Rodriguez. By this filly, by dialed in a decent gate work that kind of perked my attention now a little bit, but Lacey Gaudette, I think you're going to say it, but first-time starters, when she enters them in the maiden special weight, 22% as of lately, 2 for 9, 3 seconds, 2/3 to add to
That's
that.
the key. I think we mentioned that on the show the other day. All sibs are winners here, so yes. I've got her line to 5. Might come down a little bit in this race. The 1, let's talk about the 1, Ruth Ann will have to overcome the rail. Uncle Mo, yeah, Salamera, bottom side. This horse is a half to a horse they paid like $850,000 on. Just missed at Del Mar and has tried a couple times since. Still waiting to break that maiden, but certainly well-bred is the 1, Ruth Ann. A barn that's done very well to 2-year-olds. The 3-year-olds here lately, not as much. So we'll see if Ruth Ann is prepped and ready to go here first time out of the gate.
You said it. It's hard because Cal Lynch is so great with his first-time starters, but as of lately with the 3-year-olds, hasn't been getting the best of luck as of lately. And this one, and Ruth Ann drawing the rail position kind of keeps up with that trend. So I still have a little bit of faith. You talk about the number 6, Pumpkin for Bob Classeris, Forrest Boyce on top.
Yep.
This one's by Klimt, 10% with his first-time starters. Anything to add with this one?
No, I'm just taking a little shot, throwing something in there on for it.
Yep.
The 3 horse, though, there's a horse I'll talk about real quick. I don't have, but I might throw in the exacts. As we know, Tim Keefe, they like, get a race or 2 under their belt.
Right.
Full Brother galloped first out with a buyer of 83. Multiple stakes place was this mare was really, really good. So, they thought I'd put her in the maiden special weight. I mean, anything like the Fool said could be tough.
Let's see what happens there in the 7th in that maiden special weight. The 8th race is an allowance going a mile and 16th on the dirt for the 4-year-olds and up. Scratch in the 1, Hadshore, and scratch in the 2X under the radar. Keith, you land on the number 6, Maximus Madani. Maximus Madani. My eyes just glazed over that for Benny Perkins Jr. and gets Forrest Boyce second off of the layoff.
Yeah,
first off the layoff.
Yeah, in a race I'm looking at, I think the flow is going to be to his liking. He off a long, long time, but the one thing this guy has shown is he doesn't mind a long break. Right. Takes him a while to kind of get back, and when he gets back, he runs big. That try from December to April back from 21 to 20 was good. That was good. Beat Royal number when that horse was in pretty good form, who came back to win. I think he tracks or goes to the front here. Union Fleet has proven at a couple turns. Again, running well, holding form. I think his speed carries him a long way. I'm looking for the speeds to stay forward.
And he's been able to do it off of the pace as well. You go back from that break from the 5th of February to the 7th of October in 2021 and was able to come from off of the pace and just a pretty game effort, just missed. Needed a couple of more strides to get the job done there. Let's talk about the number. You mentioned Union Fleet with Jose Magna. It gets Angel Cruz. A really solid effort going 7 furlongs on the mud, both in those last starts. Takes the 2 turns today.
Yeah, Giordani, I'll talk about the 2 real quick. Tried a couple good tries of late. Nostalgic Run just opened up that lengthy lead, had to work through. He ran well. Is he in here still? Yeah, Giordani.
Yep.
Yeah, I think he's going to bring a good run again.
Race number 9 wraps up our Friday race card. In this maiden, claiming 12.5, going 7 furlongs on the dirt for the 3-year-olds. And scratch in the number 8, Real Rambo. Keith, you land on the number 7, Spectrier. 4, Kieran McGee gets Carlos Lopez now on the outside.
Yeah, I mean, all of a sudden has come to life. Is forward and can be into the race, and I think just outgrinds this group. I expected a little bit more from Distant Fire first time out for Mike Giorales, but caught wide in a big field. So give him a pass. Doesn't have to deal with as much adversity here today. I think will improve second time out.
That's exactly what my excuse is for him, which is why I have him on top. You also have the rail. We both have the rail Snip the Roses with Johan Rosado on top. Going to improve. And at least if he brings what he brought last time out, certainly finds himself underneath here.
Yeah, just kind of plodded along, a little extra ground. That was first time Lasix. He was $1,000,000 to 1. He won't be quite $1,000,000 to 1 today.
Let's get into lightning round as we just wrapped up our Friday's race card. Keith, let's go ahead and dig into your best bet and your value play of the day. Value play of the day, your best bet is in race number 3 in the number 8, Good Girl, Bad Habits for Brittany Russell.
My best bet's going to be Fast Track.
Sorry. What? Excuse me.
We'll take Good Girls back. I hope she wins.
Fine.
We've got her on top.
Excuse me. I did a typo. But yes, let's get into Fast Track for Arnaud Delacour in race number 6 in that allowance optional claiming 62.5. Dead game filly. Super dead game filly.
Off of that little reach at Tampa, I think got the stamina build up there, turning back in distance. I think, again, showed a lot of heart in the 2 tries here. Lasix going on, which has also been a good angle. I think he was like 30%, excluding the firsters on the dirt the last several years. So that works for me. I think she's proven it's going to be around a long, long way.
And let's get into your value play of the day, Keith.
Oh, value play. Start with a bang. Anytime you can give me Jamie Ness and Rodriguez somewhere in that 5, 6, 7 to 1 range, which I think they're going to fall into today, I'm going to take it. A little try. They up off the claim. The respect factor that they're going to show this horse to protect, I think, is good. I think she's going to lay a little bit closer. She was been way, way back the last couple races. And then she's shown on, I think you're 4 races back, a little bit forward. She's going to have that, I think, positional speed today.
I love your value play of the day. I think you're certainly going to be getting it 6 to 1 on the morning line. We'll see what comes and what happens in a race at number 4 that value play for Keith Fustel in the number 4 start with a bang. Let's get into leaderboard and see how we're looking into this weekend. J-Ron Barbosa, really, nobody's really hot on his tail, but Jamie Rodriguez is putting up a good fight.
I'm telling you, Barbosa needed that big day, right? The other day, what do you have, 4 or 5 winners in a day? He's going to need days like this because Rodriguez, Ness are just firing on all cylinders right now. So you might have to get out of their way. We'll see.
We'll see, especially with this an ultra-competitive weekend that we've got going on. Let's see what's going on with the trainers. Of course, as you mentioned, Jamie Ness and Jamie Rodriguez are on fire, and they are leading the meet by 4 right now at 22 wins.
Yep, certainly capable of everybody underneath. Things might tighten a little bit, but Ness, if he just maintains his pace the way he's going, it's going to be tough to beat.
There we go, and that is a wrap for our lightning round and for our Friday race card here. We've got a wonderful race card going on, and we are going to head on over to Dave Rodman for some changes and scratches.
All right, good luck.